In ancient paganism, there is a type of war magic called river magic. It's a very old term that I'm using, but it's been around for a very long time. Unfortunately, river magic is nearly impossible to create unless one of two things. Unless you naturally have the ability, you're just born with that ability naturally to do something like this, or you are pairing up with some sort of protector. And if you are of ill intent, good luck getting a protector to agree to working with you, because protectors, the entire reason of their existence, whether in the physical realm or the spirit realm, their entire reason of existence is to hunt down evil and either simply annihilate it or consume it. I mean, basically, you're a lemming to them, and all they see is dinner. So good luck trying to get a protector to help an ill intent with this. But that being said, if you have the right, what I call, ingredients, if you've got that, either within your blood or you've got a protector that you're working with, then creating this river, assuming you have that, actually isn't that far-fetched. It's not nearly as complicated as, physical shape-shifting or something, but it's still pretty complicated and pretty high up there. It's probably one of the more complicated ones in war magic that you could possibly do. So again, in the wrong hands, it's very rare that anyone will be able to do something like river magic because of what I just mentioned. But I can't take that chance, that small chance. So in the wrong hands, someone getting a hold of how to do this, I can't step by step say do this. Again, like I said in some of the other videos, I'll open a door. If you walk through that door and you have pure intent, all the answers you need would be on the other side. If you're of ill intent, then when you get to the other side, it'll just be empty. There won't be anything there. That's just kind of the way the universe turns. So I'll give you just enough information that you can walk through that door. If you really need to learn this, you will. If you're deserving of it, you most definitely will. So, that being said, what the fuck is river magic? Well, it's not necessarily a literal physical river. In fact, most of the time it's not. Well, I shouldn't say that. A lot of the time it's not. It's not, rain falling down off the side of a mountain, flowing into a river, and then emptying into a lake somewhere. I won't rule out that water, you can use an actual literal river, but typically what it is in war magic, when you talk about what a river is, it means that you are taking some sort of taintedness, usually, or pain or something. It's just something, negative, and you're extracting it from one area, and it's flowing continuously, unendedly, continuously, it's late, into emptying out the mouth of a river into whoever, whatever, wherever you send it. Like I say with anything else, if you don't have sacred permission of wherever it ends up going, you can't just dump it on any random thing or person or being. You can't just dump it on anything you want to, because if they're innocent and they're undeserving of that pain and that taintedness, then you will get threefold. You will be the one ending up getting, that river is going to be just diverted through the free flow is going to divert from where you intended it to go right into you. So you have to make sure that wherever it ends up being, you have sacred permission from the universe to send it there. Let me give you an example. This is hypothetical, but it'll help you understand what I mean. Say there is some kind of massive radiation that has leached out into a forest, and that forest is sacred and it is dying. And to save the forest, you create a river. You suck all that radiation out of the forest. It's flowing high, high, high in the sky. You know, flowing, flowing, flowing. And then the mouth of the river empties out into the veins of maybe exceptionally evil people. Or perhaps it empties out into a place that is a barren wasteland where there's absolutely nothing there, that it can't possibly hurt anything. So whatever the case is, typically rivers are used as a sort of war magic. So it's not going to just empty out into some kind of passive area. That would be a waste. You're going to empty it out into someone who really deserves that deadly radiation. Not the sacred forest, but someone who actually deserves that. Some, you know, I don't know, the kind of people who murdered their granny for, you know, for, I don't know, some kind of life insurance thing. Those kind of really evil people. That's where you're going to send that radiation poisoning. To people like that, people who, you know, beat the children to death, send it there. So, you know, it's that kind of continuous flow that makes rivers apart from transference of energy. Transference of energy is just once. A river flows forever. So what happens when the source is depleted? What happens when, say, let's go for the example again with the radiation. I know it's an extreme example, but just run with it. So what happens when all that radiation is finally removed from the forest? If there's nothing to pull from anymore and the river runs dry, is there no longer a river there? Does it go away? No. Just like a real physical, literal river, it simply just runs dry. And the very second that the rain comes back, it will fill up the river again and it will start flowing again. So just because it ran dry doesn't mean it goes away. The very second that that radiation comes back, it's going to flow again. So basically, in a nutshell, that is what rivers are. In war magic, anyway. Now, I guess technically you could use rivers for other things. You could use it for cleansing, for example, where it's not really targeted to a threat or anything, but it's a simple passive cleansing where wherever you send it is not going to hurt anyone or anything. You could also, vice versa, instead of taking some kind of taintedness or pain away, you could be pulling strength from, say, an ill intent, from someone that's pure evil. And that could be a river. Again, different from transference of energy because it's continuous, it's constant, it's forever. Assuming that you actually do accomplish something like this, it's very difficult to accomplish, like I said, if you don't have the right ingredients, but assuming you do, you always have to ask for sacred permission. We have a video about that in the basic, I think in the basic skills. We talk about, I don't remember exactly what it's titled, but we talk about the fact that you need to learn how to ask for sacred permission and know truly the answer, be able to know the truth of things. and to see that truth for what it really is, instead of bringing in your own assumptions, your own wishes, your own wants. It's an answer that you're receiving literally from the universe, giving you, I mean, the universe is kind of like the one in charge. It created everything, and you are, in paganism, you need to have the say of the universe before you're ever given permission. Because either way, whether you're taking strength or something positive away, or whether you're taking negativity away, and either way, you need to make sure, 100% sure, that whoever, whatever, number one, say it's, again, something like the radiation where it's, painting something else. You need to make 100% sure that whoever, whatever you're going to send it to is legitimately of ill intent and legitimately does deserve that. You might be totally convinced that they are of ill intent, but in truth and reality, maybe they're not. So you can't ever assume things. You always have to ask sacred permission. And 9 times out of 10, if it is something of ill intent, if it's pure evil, let me tell you this right now. Pure evil, about the only thing that pure evil lives for, the only reason why they exist, is because most of the time they've lived so many lives of evilness that they're never going to change. And so the only reason why they're living now is just so that they can be punished. So, people like that, 9 times out of 10, you'll be given sacred permission. But should you just discount asking sacred permission? Because there have been instances for pure evil people, and for whatever reason, that was not meant to be a part of their threefold. So, you didn't have any permission to do it to them. So even sometimes you'll be rejected from individual people who really are terrible people, but for whatever reason, it's not in the cards for that to be their punishment. The punishment always has to fit said crime, right? So to speak. So the universe has a plan for even stuff like that, for even threefolds. And it's very, very nitpicky and specific. So you can't just assume. Even though, yeah, probably it's alright, you can't just assume. If you assume, this is what happens. If you assume, and especially if it hits the innocent, this is what will happen. You'll get a threefold, and that river is going to be diverted. The universe does have the power to do that. The universe is a lot powerful than you. You're just a little tiny ant. It can divert your little tiny river, and now guess where all the pain went? To you. That is exactly what's going to happen if you fuck up. Better safe than sorry.